Hello, everyone. Welcome to Almost a Podcast. My name is Colton, and I'm the host today. And I'm joined by my two lads, Michael and Sean.
What's up?
Join me in applauding them. Jeez, that was just the worst intro. That was the worst intro.
I was so scuffed.
Colton,
you got so hyped.
Your intros are random every time.
Yeah. That was literally just shitty.
You
right
got
there.
so hyped right before, and you're like, I got hype myself to this intro, and it's like,
I didn't hype myself up enough. I was too mellow.
It's also been a while since we recorded, I think.
It's been a long time.
It feels
too
like
long.
at least
it's been almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, it feels way longer. It feels like it's been a month to me. But yeah, now we're actually recording close to when this will come out, right? Maybe a week behind.
Yeah,
but we're really close.
We're like a week behind now.
Yeah,
feels weird.
It does feel very weird. I'm glad to be back. I know all 20 of our fans are really excited to have us back too, even though there was no gap for them. But yeah. So, boys, lads, we have a couple topics to talk about today, but we just finished watching the Attack on Titan final season,
right
part
before the
2.
podcast.
We were both pretty hyped. We weren't going to talk about this originally, but
Yeah,
I
it just started back up, right? Like at least in current times.
Yeah.
I mean, the second episode came out today.
Yep.
So we watched that two together.
Yep.
Those 2 episodes.
And that was pretty hype. I'm very excited for the whole season. I got to say, stronger start than the first part of the final season. I was a little confused.
Yeah,
now I'm just like
it's
right
kind of
in.
boring. The first part.
Yeah,
one of the
they
final
picked
season.
right
I think
up.
though, Attack on Titan, just in general, I think we touched about this before, but Attack on Titan is definitely like the Game of Thrones of the anime world. Like anything can happen at any time. I have no idea how the show's going to end. No idea. You know, there's a couple different ways it could go, and I just have no idea.
Yeah.
Do you want to
get into spoiler territory about what happened this episode or like these past 2 episodes?
I think we should be a little careful.
I don't know if we do that
on spoilers.
Just because it's airing. I think when it finishes, we'll have we could do like a whole Attack on Titan
spoiler talk,
best moments, spoiler episode,
absolutely. Best score.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Oh, best score, man.
Dude, still listen to that sometimes. Oh, and
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really exciting. I'm super excited for this season, and
it's just great TV.
It's good TV. Yep, they're doing well.
Every single episode is so hyped.
Something's going on.
Yep.
Something's happening. I'm always excited to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad every single episode too. You get like these crazy cliffhangers. Like at the very end, it's like, oh god, I need to know what happens right now.
Yeah, and they've been like so good with just, I don't know, the original story is just so good that I just feel like it's not too hard to pull from that. It's all on the animation.
Yeah, it's an interesting story overall. Like the twists and turns. Like we're gonna need to have a spoiler.
We will.
But
I'm very excited.
The twists and turns that take place throughout the show are unprecedented.
Yeah.
To me, like watching it, my mind was blown multiple times.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, though, I think with you saying it's like the Game of Thrones, I'm with you. It's actually even more crazy because you just have like just moments there, like what happened, right? Like I feel like with Game of Thrones,
I had to double take many times.
There's like only maybe 2 scenes that blow me away in Game of Thrones, right? Spoilers for Game of Thrones, it would be Ned Stark's death and the Red Wedding. Those are the only 2 scenes I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck happened?
That was what the heck.
And you're like, this got real. Wow. But for Attack on Titan, I feel like every single season there's at least 3 episodes where I'm like, what the heck? It totally shifts your perspective of the entire story. Whereas with Game of Thrones, it's like, all right, you kind of know where the story's heading, right? You got your core characters and they're not going to die. Except for obviously Ned Stark in the first one, right? But I feel like after that, it just...
that it kind of gets pretty rooted, plot armor kind of takes place.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm just excited. This is like the first time that I've watched an anime since it was originally released, like the original first season, and then I'm going to actually see it to the end from, me watching it week to week. I don't do that usually.
That doesn't happen much.
And it's
anime.
A multiple season anime. Like it's not just a single season anime, but it's
so you watch the first
4 or 5 seasons now.
Yeah,
right?
you watched the first season of Attack on Titan like while it was airing.
Yeah, it was like 2014, 2015.
I think I did.
And I binged the first season, but then season 2, 3, and 4, I watched week per week, every episode and we did that together. So it's kind of cool to see it all come together. It's really hard to wait through these weeks, but it makes it so much better when you see that next episode every week.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
So
good, man.
Yeah. I had to put that in there because it's hype. If you haven't watched it yet, we definitely all recommend you watch it. Even if you don't like anime, I feel like it's worth a shot.
Dude, there's so many people who don't even like anime who've seen that.
Yeah,
how's the English dub? Is it good? I haven't listened.
I've listened to a little bit of the English dub. I don't think it's that good personally.
Nah.
It's very cliche anime, and I feel like it could turn people off. If you like Squid Game, I mean, it's like the same thing. It's the dub, right?
That's true. I mean, I think that one of my biggest things with subtitles, or like with the original acting, is it's so hard to get the same amount of energy in the English voices.
It just is, yeah.
Because there's some scenes in Game of Thrones where like these guys are yelling, like putting their heart and soul into what they're saying, you know. But I feel like it just doesn't really happen in English dubs for the most part.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's only a very select few dubs that are like, all right, I can feel
some
the
are
actors,
good,
right?
but...
Like I think we've talked about this before, like Bakano, Black Lagoon. I think the Code Geass dub is excellent.
Yep, that's pretty good.
And that's
Goku's voice actor specifically. Amazing.
Yeah,
yeah, but there's definitely. It's more of like a, diamonds in the rough situation with the dubs. Whereas I feel every single sub, well, not every single sub. There's plenty of subs that don't have great voice acting. Let's be real here. But majority of the time, you can feel it. Maybe it's just because there's the language boundary, right? Although Colton, you're taking started to take Japanese classes, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know much. I've taken like one class, so I can't really speak to dub versus sub. But I know. I mean, just from the translation perspective, if you want a dub to be really good, I feel like it's not just on the voice actor; it's on the translation team. You got to make it, even if it's not a perfect translation, you got to make it sound natural to whoever's actually saying the lines. Because there's a lot of dubs out there that don't make a natural translation. And it's really awkward. It's really awkward to get really hype or...
Looking at you, Ghost Stories,
Well, that's a total...
Ghost Stories is a fantastic dub. Ghost Stories one of the best dubs.
It's
executed, every line executed perfectly. But if it's awkward, I feel like the actor wouldn't be able to get into it. I say this without having experience as a voice actor. But I feel like you got to have... If you have good writing, your voice actor is going to be really good. To get into it. And, they don't really see the script with much time in advance, and that can also be a problem. There's a lot of different stuff that could lead
And I wonder if it's an environment thing, right? I don't know too much about voice acting, but I'm going to make some assumptions here, right? Is that a lot of times voice actors in Japan are either in the same room or record together, right? I know they did this once with Konosuba. That's one I know for sure.
They don't actually.
Really?
That's why Konosuba is unique, is because it's one of the few that they do record in the same room.
Oh, okay.
To my knowledge, at least. This is like a couple interviews that I've seen, but
okay.
But most of the time it is in separate rooms, but they're, I guess, good at what they do, so it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's some excellent voice actors in the U.S., but maybe it's a price thing where it's like it just doesn't pay enough to get like top tier people.
That could be.
Because I know that they don't get paid a lot for standard anime dub voice acting.
Right. That's
even for a big show like Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Which is just shocking. You think Attack on Titan would have great dub quality? Like the only time dub quality is superior is when it's like a Studio Ghibli movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, because they get A-list actors.
Castle thing. Yeah, because they get top tier actors for it. I mean, that's when it sounds good.
Right.
Yeah.
So they got to do.
It also, I mean, there's some diamond in the rough shows that
there's some
kind
top
of
tier voice actors too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like sometimes the person who plays the voice actor also knows the source material, and if you have that going for you, you can have it's like a big brain move. Like they have all the knowledge of the story to add more nuance
going
to
into
certain,
it as well.
Passion, just nuance. Like if this character is going to portray another one and they know it, maybe they can add something to their voice to make it foreshadow, or I don't know, just add a lot more depth to that performance kind of thing.
Yeah. Have you guys ever like really looked into that at all? Like, which voice actors you really like? Because I actually have a couple that I'm like, all right, these are actually really good voice actors.
I don't actually have a lot of
the guy who voices Kirito is
that guy. I mean, he's like really famous.
English
that
or
that dude's awesome.
Japanese.
He can do so many good voices.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into as far as like English ones though. I don't really listen to many things animated that are English, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like Goku's English voice actor. He's like basically famous. But other than that, I mean, I don't have a lot of specific actors, Japanese or English, that I
can't think of specific actors really either, Japanese or English. There's this one dude in Japanese voice actors who he always plays a bad guy, and he's got a really like specific voice. I don't know how to describe it.
Is it Zeke's actor? Because for me at least in my experience, Zeke's actor is Dio from JoJo's. So like, and when I hear that, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is.
I didn't know that.
Same thing with was it Flock from Attack on Titan? He's the red haired guy. He's Giorno from Part 5, same voice actor. So whenever I hear him talk, right? Because I saw Part 5 obviously before Flock really became relevant to the story. I'm like, oh, this is just Giorno, and I'm like, and now I can't disassociate that now. I'm trying to remember what Aaron's voice actor. I mean, we've heard him in a couple things before, but
he's another thing too.
He's
I definitely have seen enough anime to the point where I recognize, I'm like, oh, I recognize that voice. I do that a lot. But I can't. I mean, I think with American voice acting, it's so different. Like, for example, I would never hear SpongeBob's voice, his actor, anywhere else because he does such a weird, specific voice for it.
Right.
I'm trying to think of other anime
SpongeBob
things, like maybe like Arcane. Maybe they have English actors for that.
Yeah.
I just heard that show took 6 years to make.
Arcane.
Did you guys hear about
really?
that?
No.
Yeah, it took 6 years to make that show.
So we gotta wait another 6 years for season 2 to have that same quality.
Yeah.
God,
who knows?
That's crazy.
But they probably have the story set up. Actually, who knows? They may have just like spot, okay, this is a one-off Hail Mary kind of thing, and I didn't even think about it. But
like those voice actors were very good, and
very good.
I have never heard them in anything else.
Well, Haley Vai's voice actor is like she's in Hawkeye. She's the girl in Hawkeye. She's like a relatively famous actress.
Okay.
Haley Steinfeld, I think. Yeah.
I also listen to, I mean, the only voice actors I know that are actual voice actors, because I listen to Critical Role. It's like a D&D podcast. Mm-hmm. And they're all voice actors. Like, that's the only time I know them from. And they, like, in video games. And occasionally
Matt Mercer,
I hear their voices. Yeah,
Matt Mercer, you can hear
everything.
Anywhere. Yeah. And, like, I always see him as McCree from Overwatch, because, like, that's when I first recognized it, truly. Yeah.
That's something I know.
Yeah, McCree. It's high noon.
Yep.
Oh, is that guy? See, I never played Overwatch, so I never like recognized any of the voices.
Yeah. For me though, for English voice actors, there's a guy named J. Michael. I think it's J. Michael Tatum is his name, as well as Brina Palencia. Those are the English voice actors for Lawrence and Holo from Spice and Wolf. Since I watched the English dub of that,
yeah,
and
same.
I still like I still
good.
recognize them. And I'm like, I'm trying to remember some of the other works they've been in, but like, whenever I hear their English voice, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's them.
It's them.
Obviously, I can't disassociate from that. So it's like, all right, I always see them as those two characters. But it is really interesting, especially J. Michael Tatum. I see him in a lot of like stuff from like the 2000s to like mid 2010s. I don't see as much in now, but obviously I don't listen to it.
I don't think I've ever like seeked out. That's not a word. I've never like sought out. There, seeked out. I've never sought out a show because I knew a voice actor was in it, Mm-hmm. It's always been like, oh, I recognize that person. It's definitely like and it happens very rarely in English where I'll recognize somebody. Mm-hmm. Like Master Chief in Halo. Mm-hmm. He's a very distinctive voice.
Pretty distinct, yeah.
I've never heard him in anything else, or at least I don't think I've recognized him in anything else. It's so weird though, right? Because you would think that voice could be applied to a lot of different things, but not so.
Honestly, I don't even seek out movies with certain actors in them. I think that's
me neither.
Yeah,
it's a lot of people do, but
yeah,
I actually remember reading something about that where, before like the 2000s, people looked for movies with actors. And I want to watch this movie with this specific actor in it, right? And now anymore, it's all about the characters. Like post MCU, right? It's all about, okay, this, I want to see someone play this character.
Yeah. Okay.
For instance, Robert Downey Jr., right? Like, you know, he was Iron Man, and then a lot of his other stuff has not done as well. You know, even though he's a well-known guy and he plays his role.
And he played Iron Man. Yeah.
Can you think of anyone else who should be Tony Stark?
I think the only time that I'll watch actors is when they just play, when like there are certain actors that just play themselves essentially in movies.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll watch. Like Tom Cruise, like The Rock.
The Rock plays himself.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I just and Ryan Reynolds, like those guys play themselves. Like I'll watch a movie with The Rock in it because I know some you know, there's gonna be a fight scene and it's just gonna be a big dude walking around like that. That's kind of, you know, why you'd watch that. But like Johnny Depp, for example, that dude is a different character. He's an entirely different person in every film he does. Yeah. So I wouldn't necessarily want to watch a Johnny Depp film to see Johnny Depp. You know, it's just because I want to see that character, you know? Like, I want to see Jack Sparrow. I don't want to see Johnny Depp. Right. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. I get you.
Some people are really good at playing a certain character, you know, like Tom Cruise.
Ryan Reynolds is definitely, I think, the one I think of too. When, you know, he's always Ryan Reynolds.
He's always Deadpool, that type of character.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. And there's times when that's too much. You know, like, okay, I don't need to see this for a while. I watched Red Notice recently.
Yeah.
Which has The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. That's why I thought of that. Of them. And that was pretty good.
I kind of liked it. Yeah, it was fun.
That was a fun movie, but it was definitely one of those. It's like, okay, I don't need to see Ryan Reynolds again for a little while. You know, that was a lot, lot of him all of a sudden.
And he plays the same character each time.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's funny. It's just, it's like I don't search out movies that have Jonah Hill in it. You know, it's just not because he's a bad actor, because he can be funny, but he's a very specific character, and I don't always jive with that character. You know,
Yeah.
Or you don't need that in the moment.
I don't need that type of humor all the time.
I might know what
or Seth
kind of
Rogen,
movie it
same
is.
thing.
Yeah. You kind of know what movie it might be.
Yeah, you know what you're getting. Yeah.
It's a certain type of movie.
Definitely.
Okay, well, wanted to move into what we wanted to make this podcast actually about. Went on quite a bit of a tangent there. But, Sean, you moved.
I did,
you moved.
I don't know if it's going to come through in the recording, but I probably sound a little different because my room here is super echoey because I have no furniture right now. But yeah, I moved. It's my first time moving. That was pretty, well, I guess you can count going to college as semi-moving, but this is my full time. Like, I moved out. I'm on my own.
Like adult moving.
It's pretty, now I have to, I'll tell you, I kind of forgot to eat the first couple days.
Yeah.
Just was
There's so much to do.
Not that there was so much to do. There was, but I also just kind of forgot, like, oh, I need to make food and eat it.
Yeah, because your parents are always like scheduled dinner time, like always.
My parents
at,
are
it's
always scheduled. Everything. Sorry, lingering sickness. But like one day I was like, I'm not feeling good at all. What's going on here? I'm like, I just haven't eaten it all today.
Yeah.
So I just like, I'm gonna go out. It's the first time I actually went out because I haven't like bought food outside yet. I went out to In-N-Out.
Oh, it's
got a burger.
There's
4 or 5 in where I'm at, which is awesome. And it was the same quality.
Good,
I liked it. Definitely good. And I felt like I ate it and I felt alive again. Oh man,
calories.
I really. And since then, I've been a lot better at eating. You know, I remembered to eat. You know, schedule things out, but that was definitely tough initially.
Yeah. So how was like the apartment search and everything like that?
Man, apartment searching would be so much nicer if I didn't have a deadline. Like, so I got a job offer where I was applying for jobs, got a new job. So I moved for work. Is why I moved, and I got a job, got blah blah blah, and I was moving out of town. So I moved out of California. So, which is hard when you're trying to book or get an apartment in a place you aren't physically there.
Yeah, right.
Because I would be talking to these apartments and like, hey, I want to live here, and then I can't tour the place, and I'm not going to just sign unseen. I want to tour, see the area. I'm really big on finding the vibe of where the apartment is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which I think is really important, and I can't do that if I'm hundreds and hundreds or thousands of miles away.
Right.
So, what to do? And then everything would change day to day.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, wow, this is a really nice apartment. Check the next day, gone. Like,
oh,
dang.
yeah, that's always the worst. You find the golden apartment and you just can't make it work.
And
that's what happened to me. And
most places can't hold, like it's like a 48-hour hold if you pay a couple $100. And
and you're like, I'm not going to reserve. It could be shit. Like you could get there and it's like dusty everywhere. It's you don't want to do that.
One of the places I applied, you can apply and then you can reserve. So I applied to do like a background check.
Mm-hmm.
I did that and they're like, okay, you want to do the whole thing? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that yet. I just want to make sure I'm good to go. Cause one of the things that I was busy, I had, or I needed to do is I had a week essentially to move in because I left my job and then I had maybe 12 days until I start my new job.
Yeah.
So
it's a tight timeline.
I need to move in a week essentially.
You need to organize.
I didn't want to go to a place, get an apartment, and then take a week for a background check because then I would be in a city and not have a place to stay essentially with all my stuff. So I was like, man, what I got to do? Luckily, I was able to get in and move in within like 2 days. I got in on a Monday, toured a bunch of places, and then I was moving into my place on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So
that's really awesome.
Yeah,
that was, and it was, one of the places I had like 4 or 5 places in mind, and I was touring all them, make sure they had availability, and got everything sorted out and finally moved. But man, moving is a lot of work.
Yeah, man. when I heard you only had like 12 days, because I was hearing you and you were like saying, I gotta like get a hotel and then I have to tour my apartments while I have all my stuff with me. And I was like, sheesh, like that sounds. Are you sure you want to do that? But you can't do anything
risky
about it.
too. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, So I drove up here with my parents. So I was in my car.
So you had some,
and then my parents were in their car.
Right.
And they were towing a little trailer that we have, and it has all my stuff.
Right.
We pull in to this parking. My dad had booked this Best Western.
Yeah. Okay.
Hotel, and usually they're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
We pull into the parking lot, and we're like, this
not
place
good.
does not look real good.
Man.
It was pretty sketchy. We pull in and we go into the thing and check in and everything. The parking lot sucked, so there's no really easy way to place a trailer. It was kind of bad. There's just and it's. I moved to a place where there's winter now, so California there's no winter, but where I'm at there's winter, so it's cold outside.
It's cold,
and when you have people kind of loitering around the outside of the hotel in winter, there's a problem.
Yeah,
something's going on there. Mm-hmm. And we get into our room, and it's subpar. Like the floors were like
best
wood, slash not wood, but like faux wood. Which is a bad sign in a hotel for me, I think. I walk in a hotel and it has that. And I'm like, this is a problem. And we decide, we're not going to stay here. So we
really actually, you bailed.
Yeah, we bailed on the room. God. Like we found another place that day. It was way nicer. It was like a Marriott, and
that sounds awful.
Actually had a nice parking lot. Had cameras in the parking lot. There's nobody loitering outside. There was definitely like drug deals going on at that Best Western.
God.
Like it was really weird, and so we bailed on that.
Yeah,
got a new place, and everything's safe. It was in the parking lot. It's fine. Parked the trailer with my Jeep, and then went out with my parents' car, and we just kind of toured the area and did all we needed to. Got everything booked and moved in. But man, it was just a lot of stuff, and I realized I'm not usually like stressed out as a person.
Yeah,
pretty calm,
laid back,
chill. But I realized as soon as everything got into my apartment, I unloaded all my stuff. It felt like a weight had lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my God, I feel so much better now that everything is kind of just has a place again. Like when all my stuff was in my trailer, I'm like, oh my God, something could happen at any time. It's just, I can't use any of I was freaking out, like subconsciously. And once it was all in, I was like, oh, thank God.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like
It's been fun though. Like, I mean, this is your first time moving out. So like, I know personally, like I had accidentally cut myself chopping some stuff the other day. I'm like, oh shit,
I'm dreading that.
I don't have Band-Aids, or I don't have Neosporin or anything like that. I'm like,
just figuring out we need to backfill.
Yeah. So it's like, what kind of like little things have you found like during the moving process?
I mean,
obviously, so you're getting all new furniture too, right? So like,
I moved with no furniture. I didn't really have any before.
It was probably a smart move because that's the thing I dread. Like when I get my
furniture
couch,
sucks to move.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Like I want to move, but now I have furniture. I have a big TV, and I have all this cool stuff, and I'm like, shit. This is going to be sucky.
What this moving experience has taught me is that next time I move, I'm hiring people.
You're hiring.
There's no way that I'm moving myself.
But it's like
again.
$1,000.
I think it might even be more.
Worth it,
dude. It might be like $3,000 depending on what you have. Like you could spend a fortune on these moving companies, man. I don't know.
Well, I would get people to load a U-Haul essentially. I would drive that part and then just get people to unload it all.
So you get your friends and you pay them with pizza, and then you have.
I don't want to take I think the biggest part was I need a place to put stuff. Like I had to really pack the trailer. Like it was airtight essentially. There was no space for anything. So next time I'm just getting a big U-Haul. I mean, maybe I can move the stuff. That's fine. I'll carry a couch. Blah blah blah. But I don't want to have to worry about space. So just giant U-Haul, throw everything in the back, drive it. That is a way better option than what I did.
Than what you did, yeah.
But I mean, I haven't had too much of an issue like filling stuff out. My parents, we once everything was moved in, we all went shopping essentially, and they were very generous in helping me, build out some initial stuff. So I got pots and pans and dish towels and all the basic
some necessities,
stuff. But after they left, I definitely went to Target once a day for the next 3 days.
Right. Just because I need this, and then I need this.
You get to the point man, I kind of need a bath mat, or something like that.
Right.
I need a shower curtain.
Exactly.
I know for me, it's like I need spices or I need something to cook with, right? It's like, oh shoot, I don't have XYZ utensil.
The shower curtain.
I need some spoons.
Yeah, the shower curtain was a big one.
I bought a shower curtain with them. That was definitely early on.
I had to have showers without a shower curtain. I was like, man, this is not good.
That would suck. You just get water everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. See, this is the stuff I didn't know when I first moved, though.
Yeah.
I felt that I feel I'm pretty good with knowing more or less what I need. And, I have a ton of camping stuff. So even if I did cut myself, I would have a Band-Aid. I have a first aid kit and everything.
Yeah.
I should get a better one. But, everything here is pretty... I had all my major, I have a rice cooker,
right.
That to me was that's all I need.
Yeah.
And then I have a kettle, I have a bunch of stuff that's very utilitarian in the way. I have a TV is not utilitarian, but
it's
I didn't need any furniture or just major things because I had everything I need roughly. Everything that I still need to buy is I guess maybe pots and pans and food.
Right.
I have most of the things I need besides furniture.
Yeah, kind of more minimalist.
Which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
And a bed. I didn't have a bed.
That's a big thing.
That's needed, yeah.
Yeah, luckily I was able to buy that one as soon as I moved in, just went out and bought a bed that day and it's good to go.
Yeah.
Was your moving experience kind of similar, Golden?
Mine was, I think, pretty similar. See, I didn't have the time.
How did you guys move? Because you guys moved pretty soon after college.
We moved right after college, but here's the thing. I didn't have the time constraint. We had all summer. I started my job, a month or 2 months after I got out of school. So I had all this time to look for places. I was within range. It wasn't hard for me to find a place because I was able to schedule time to go look at these places, even though they were pretty far away. And
Dang, that sounds so nice.
I just gave myself a lot of time to get that figured out. And I also didn't have furniture, so we just lugged all the stuff I had from college to the new place. My girlfriend, Carly, lugged all her stuff she had from college to the new place. And then we basically bought, a bed, and we bought all the necessities that we needed to get. So it was a lot less stressful. It was kind of the same caliber of move, but I'm really dreading this next move that we have to do with all of our stuff. Because it's going to require...
Because you got a move coming up, right? Like,
hopefully, yeah. We want to move to...
Within 6 months?
Yeah, in the next 6 months. And we have, the total story is that we have some of our stuff, for reasons I won't go into on this podcast because it will take way too long, in Mississippi. So I'm living not in Mississippi, and I'm trying to move to not Mississippi. So I'm in one place, some stuff's in Mississippi, and we want to move somewhere else. So now... we got to coordinate getting all the stuff from Mississippi back to our current place and then go to the new place we want to move to. So that's 2 moves in one, and that's going to be a hassle.
And if you don't have a car that can hold things, it's...
Oh, yeah.
Like your car is pretty small, Colton.
It's pretty small.
I drive a Jeep, a 2-door Jeep. You can't fit anything in that.
Yeah. It's like sometimes I'm like, I can fit the mattress. I can fit a bed mattress in my car.
No
I got
way.
a hatchback. This is for like hauling around some furniture, right? And it's like, I can't haul anything. I went to go get my new TV in my hatchback, got a 65-inch TV. I was like, I'm golden. I went to Best Buy to pick it up. They literally wheeled it in. They're like, we can't get this to you. They're like, you can't pick it up. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't pick it up? They're like, no, it won't fit. And I had to wait an extra, I just ship it from the Best Buy that was 10 minutes down the road to my house. And I had to wait an extra 4 days.
I'm thinking the same thing because I'm thinking maybe about, I'm toying with the idea of getting a new TV. I can't get that. I
should have just got it off Amazon.
I'm surprised you could do the drive from, California to Michigan with that. Because I remember you did that almost every single year, right? Your first year you flew, correct? But then every year
first year I flew in, and then every year after that I drove there and back. And I towed my little trailer there with me.
Right.
Yeah, I was blown away you could do that every single time.
This is a much different...
I like driving. It wasn't an issue. So it's just the... And I had even less stuff when I was going to college.
It's a much different move.
I didn't need much.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad, but yeah, it was long drives, I would say.
Yeah. I used to have such a underappreciation for moving because when my first big experience moving, after college, which wasn't even that bad. I fit everything in our SUVs and stuff like that. But after that, I went to California for an internship, which I may have talked about on the podcast before. But I literally, all I needed was a suitcase. That's all I had, a suitcase and a backpack. And I lived off of that because the place had a TV. I put my PS4 in my suitcase, and I'm like, okay, cool, PS4. Got my laptop, my backpack. I'm going to game. I have all my clothes. I didn't need anything else. But now, obviously, as adulting becomes more of a thing, as we progress through life more, it's going to get way too hard. There will be a point where I need to get a hiring company, I think. I think there will be a point where I'm making enough money and I'm just no fucking way. I'm just gonna do it. But right now...
Well, now you got to figure out before move the PS4, move the laptop. Now you're okay, where am I going to put the pots and pans when I move?
Right.
Definitely, yeah.
There's so many things.
Yeah, I hope my TV doesn't break as I try to transport it.
Oh my God.
And...
yeah, I was really worried about that.
Yeah.
'Cause I have a TV that I moved, and luckily I had the original box, so I was pretty secure in it, but it's still that I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
I have a pretty comprehensive server computer set up at my place, and all my storage capabilities operate off of 11 hard drives essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Moving those things was I could lose everything else. As long as these hard drives are okay.
Alive. Yeah.
Yep.
I can recreate everything. It's going to cost money, but I could do it.
Right.
If I lose these hard drives, it's over. I've lost everything.
Offsite backups, man. You got to get an offsite backup solution.
I made a backup of the most important
cloud.
data that I left at my parents' place, but if I lost hard drives, it'd be so much work to rebuild.
Yeah.
It oh man. So I'm very glad I came back and everything's working, and I haven't had any errors build up, so we should be good.
That would suck. Yeah.
Boy, that was probably my major concern for moving. Like I bought like specific protective cases for each individual hard drive, and I put those in like this, big cooler that I have that's just like a tank, with padding and everything.
Yep.
Oh man, that was stressful. Every bump I went over, I'm like,
oh shit, yeah.
But you also kept them in your car, right? Because like I can't these like.
No, those went because I don't have a hard top in my Jeep, so I kept in my parents' car because they also have better suspension. And it's locked and everything, so that went in their car.
Okay, because I know for me personally, like whenever I move, I'm not putting my PC in any kind of. I'm keeping that in the car.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I move the seat, like the passenger seat, around just perfectly, so it like keeps the PC still, but with a little bit of wiggle room just in case it needs to like go over a bump or something. Well,
I packed that stuff, so like I made sure it was all good. And it was in a space that was good. That was like the most secure. Like in my Jeep, it would not have been better, So it's good that it went in my dad's car. But man, that was definitely a stressful point to moving. Once I set down that cooler with all my stuff, like okay, we're good. And I plugged everything in later, and
it works.
Work, but
yeah, so much different than college. College
was so easy. Stressful about moving.
It's so different, and I mean, college, I got excited whenever I had to move somewhere. All my internships, it wasn't stressful. I kind of am still at that level. I'm still pretty confident that I can pack everything so that it won't get damaged over time. But, I mean, because I like moving to new places. I always get really excited, and I'm all into it. But some people almost don't want to move because of that. They get really...
Well, I can understand it after this because, I mean, I lived in a single room in my parents' place. I don't have much stuff to move. My parents have been living in that house for almost 30 years now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine the amount of stuff that's just all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have a big house, It's like it's a 3-bedroom place. I can't imagine the amount of stuff that's just that you have to think about moving, because in 30 years, you just accumulate
so much stuff.
It's
all got
so many knickknacks,
memories.
and so many things that have sentimental value.
Yeah, and there's so many things. Like me, I'm like, I don't need that. Throw it away.
Right.
Or like donate it or whatnot.
Absolutely.
But them, it's like, oh, that's the first thing that this thing, you just get sentimental about something.
Yeah.
I've had this couch for 30
years.
We've
had for 30 years. Why would we throw that away? Like, oh,
yeah.
But and sure, it's fine to keep. But man, would it be so hard to move all that? Like you're gonna need a full-on semi-truck essentially.
Yeah, and especially I just think of the stuff in garages, all that heavy equipment.
Oh, geez, yeah.
I think you're trying to move your lawnmower. What are you gonna do? It's just
like my dad has a tool. Just got a new tool box. Like it's 5 feet tall. Tons of stuff. I mean, and the tools in there are hundreds of pounds, everything in there.
Absolutely.
Moving that. I mean, come on. That's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's got wheels, but you can't lift it.
I remember my dad had to move relatively recently within the past 5 years. And I just remember all that because he had same thing. All my grandfather's old tools, right? We had this giant old tool cabinet.
Dads never want to give up their dad's tools. I kind of
get that. I feel
some of these tools are 100 years old. Like some of the wrenches in there,
they don't make them
are
like they
literally
used to
100 years old. Like we have this. It's kind of rusty, but it's it's a crescent wrench and a hammer that are literally 100 years. Some of those are really old. I mean, they're still from the 60s, but they're pneumatic ones.
Right.
My grandfather was an auto, not a mechanic, but he did auto body.
You just can't get rid of that stuff if it's working. Oh,
man. I hope I don't get to that point. I don't want to be holding on to hundreds of pounds of steel tools because it's
I'm going to get to that point. As soon as I have a house, I'm going to be buying tools left and right. It's going to be a problem.
I hope I don't. I want to have
I love
one
tools,
thing. I love tools too, but I don't need 10 screwdrivers. I'm on a bad road to this though because I already have 3 screwdrivers. So I don't. That kind of eliminates my own point. But I just
screwdrivers are one thing, but wrenches. There's certain wrenches this wrench this is the wrench for this one thing, and you can't get rid of it because you need it for that one thing every 2 years. You know,
that's true.
Yeah.
It's
especially like auto body and auto mechanics.
Like I do all the work on my car. It's gonna be tough to now.
Yeah,
in an apartment, but
that.
like I don't have any tools to do that now, so I either need to buy more or just hire somebody else to, which I hate doing.
No.
I have like a basic tool set, but like there's so many tools that are very useful for specific things. Like what are those things called? A spark plug socket.
Oh,
that's a super specific, because it's not a regular socket. It's a spark plug socket. It has a rubber inside so that it doesn't break any of the ceramic on the spark plug itself when you take it out. And there are different sizes for different types of engines and different spark plugs.
And you can't just you can't just get a regular wrench.
So it's like I could use it on a regular wrench in the sense, or a regular like ratchet wrench. It's just an attachment on a socket. But what if
you could break something?
The spark plug wrench I have, or a socket, doesn't fit on the type of wrench I have.
Yep.
I got to get a new wrench to fit this. like
or having a torque wrench or something like that, where you have to, that's a specialized tool that is like where I'm going to store that.
And then you need to take it all with you when you move.
Yeah, this whole thing.
Man, moving sucks. I now understand why people say
like
moving
we're not
sucks.
going to move.
Like I was like, moving's fine. I did it several times, in college. No, that was not what I did.
Well, it's fine when I only need a backpack and a suitcase. When you have to start organizing stuff and planning days, like days of your life goes into planning moving. That's when it starts getting sucky. It's like, okay, why can't I just throw my shit in my back seat and go with it? But no,
because all your stuff doesn't fit in the back seat.
Right? Yeah,
I
bought expensive things. I can't have them break on me. That would just suck.
Yep.
Sometimes I miss that. I miss just being able to live with my laptop gaming computer, with my clothes, and then just going on the road, doing whatever I want. That's how a lot of people probably do it.
Did you ever rent furniture, Colton, in any of the places you've been so
I
so
have
far?
Furniture.
I've never rented furniture, actually.
See, that's one thing I thought about is, I was like, rent furniture, that's absurd. That is ridiculous. But now I'm like, I actually kind of get it, because like if you're going to spend, like, especially if it's like nice stuff, and it's like, all right, you're going to spend, $1,000 on like a couch and like kind of like a set, right? Which is a lot.
Right.
But if you rent it, it's like I know a lot of places. I think our old apartment at MSU is like, okay, you can spend $100 a month extra to rent all the furniture, right? I'm like, that seems like a lot. But at this point,
it is a lot, though. If you're in a place for a year, you might as well buy it.
Yeah, that's how I think too. It's like, if you're gonna spend $10,000 over 10 months, and then you'll pay more because if you keep renting, you might as well just buy the thing anyways.
It's $1,200.
Okay,
so if you're $1,200 total for like a furnished apartment, I'm like,
yeah.
And if you go to IKEA, you can get a couch for under $1,000.
That's how I feel.
My new couch,
you can get a couch under $100.
Is $850. That's how much my couch costs.
That's actually a pretty expensive couch.
That's expensive.
That's a good couch.
But it's a sleeper couch, and it can like pull out and do all these cool things.
Okay, yeah.
So
I mean, great couch. I applaud you for the good couch selection.
It's got a Chase lounge. I'm very excited. It's a 3-seat with the Chase. So very excited. I wanted the Chase lounge because I like to put my feet up. So
yeah. And you could probably sleep 2 people on that.
Yeah, I think it converts to like a full-size bed.
Oh, sick. Okay.
It's not a pull out. It's not a pull out. It's like there's a drawer that comes out, and then this extra thing kind of pops up. So it's different than a regular pull out couch.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was on it. And I was doing the you do the whole walk through in IKEA. Spend half a day there, and I'm like, oh, this is a really nice couch.
Yeah, this is nice.
So I went with that.
Now you just can't break it or rip it when you move to the next spot or get it dirty.
Right?
Yeah,
like now I gotta move a giant couch. It's like 140 pounds. Like how am I gonna move this thing?
The other thing with like
and I could carry 140 pounds, let's say, but in that type of size,
it's just awkward.
No way.
Oh,
I mean, it's such an awkward size. I could. Okay, so story about moving in here.
Mm-hmm.
This I'm pointing at my TV stand. My TV, it's like a entertainment center. It's a three layer. It's got glass panes, and it has a TV stand that goes up behind it that has like it's like for a floating TV look.
Yeah.
and it's very nice. I got it at Best Buy actually for a really good price.
Okay.
Cheaper than IKEA. And
like
it's
Best Buy.
very nice stand. I actually really like it. But I drove to Best Buy. They wheeled it out for me. Okay. It fit my Jeep because, it compresses down. It fit there, no problem. But then I drove it into like my parking area, and I thought, now I got to get it up to my apartment.
On the stairs.
And this thing is not like a light. I would say this is probably 120 pounds, maybe 100 pounds. I could pick it up, but it's at an awkward size. It's this like it's like 5.5 by, it's like 55 inches long and like, 1.5 feet deep. So carrying that in a box was in
a little
and
box.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
So I had to like, I don't know how far away. I would maybe like 300 feet, from my car to my elevator essentially. And then another like 50 feet from the elevator to my door. So I had to do like three. I had to set this down like 3 or 4 times, I
like,
pick it up, go like, 100 feet, stop. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is heavy.
Because you're on like the second or third floor, right?
I'm on the 5th floor, so I definitely had to take an elevator.
Yeah,
there was no way that I was taking up the stairs.
Yeah, dude, I was trying to do something similar. Helping my dad with something out, and it's like a countertop, and it's a granite countertop, right? Thing's probably 220, and he and I were like, all right, we got to get up these stairs, and it's at this really bad angle, right? And we're like, I don't know if this thing's going. It was just the two of us, because one of us has to sit on the other end, right? And both of us are
one's getting the weight.
But also both of us, our body weights are less than 220 individually, right? So that thing's got the weight advantage. If it's like going down the stairs, we're like, all right, get up like a full flight of stairs at a weird angle, like. This is.
I mean, there's no way I'm carrying a couch up 5 flights of stairs. So, or anything up 5 flights of stairs.
Yeah, I'm glad you got an elevator. So.
Yeah, no, that was a must. One of the places I looked at, it would be on the like 3rd or 4th floor, but no elevator.
Oh, no way.
No way.
That's like a deal breaker.
That's immediate disqualification right there.
4th floor apartment, no elevator. That is awful. Dude, they better be renting that out for like $600 a month. Don't like 1,200 square foot apartment. Jesus.
Yeah, it was cheaper, but it wasn't that much cheaper.
God.
I was like, it's not worth it.
That's awful. Do you guys want to hear an absolutely terrible moving story that I had?
Go for it.
Honestly, a lot of my worst moving experiences are couches. Couches suck a lot.
Couches suck.
Yeah, couches are really shitty.
They're usually like fairly light, but they're like just super freaking awkward.
I mean, that's kind of why IKEA couches are nice, because they disassemble so easily. But like if you buy an actual nicer couch, there's no disassembly. It's a full piece.
Right. So basically, under a large circumstance of events, our main awesome couch that we had when we were first living in our new apartment, me and Carly, it went down to Mississippi. All right, it's sitting in Mississippi. We're like, crap. Okay, we need a new couch. So we get a new couch. We buy one. It's a nice cheap couch for like $100. We're saying, okay, we'll get that old couch that's in Mississippi back to us eventually. A year later, it's still not back, but we're working on it. So we get this old, or not this old couch, but like a new like used couch. And we bring it home. My friend August is helping me move it into our apartment. Our apartment's on the 2nd floor. And this couch is long.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. No, it's not heavy. It's not really even that awkward. It's a standard, like, 3-seated couch. I don't know how long. It's like, just think of that standard 3-seated
That's true, because
couch.
like I've been to your place, Colton, and you never think about what it takes to get this stuff there. And I had never thought about moving. It's a fairly sizable couch. It's pretty thick, I would say.
Yeah, and the worst part is, so there's stairs going upstairs, of course, to the 2nd floor, and the stairs are really narrow. There's like 3 things. The stairs are super narrow. 1, 2. There's like a low ceiling, so we can't just lift it up and be like, oh, okay, we have a height constraint on when we bring it up. And then 3rd, for whatever reason, the door to get in to the apartment like blocks the entrance to the stairway. So like
What?
the
That's true.
there's like a wall really close to the entrance to the stairway. So if you have something really long, you'll just bump into the door. So basically, the three of us tried to get this couch up these stairs for literally probably 3 hours. I'm not kidding. 3 hours we spent trying to Tetris this shit up the stairs, and we did not get it. We didn't get it. Like, we were there. No. It was like, we'll get out of here by 5 p.m. It was like 7 p.m. And we were like out of ideas. We just were sitting downstairs on the couch because it was on the floor, not in my apartment. We're like, what are we gonna do? And I had this brilliant idea. Our the stairs that go up the apartment doors has a railing, and the railing was really fucking us. Like the railing was like what would catch, and we couldn't get it.
Did you take the railing?
I literally had to get my wrench set. I unscrewed the railing for like 20 minutes. I broke like the safety code of our apartment. I actually don't know if I should be saying. It's fine. They won't ever find out. But yeah, I took off the railing to bring the couch up, and it still barely fit. Here's the shittiest part about that is now when I move that couch, I have to do it all over again. I have to take the railing off again.
Hey, at least you know how to like.
At least I know how to do it. But damn, it was like the railing was like it was so old, and like the stairs are carpeted, so I couldn't even find the bolts. Like, it was just all matted and shit. It hadn't been removed in years. So I put the railing back on, too. And it was gross. Yeah, it took me so long just to find out where the bolts were. And then when I thought I had them all out, I tried to take the railing off, but it was still constrained by all these bolts. It's infuriating.
And and your stairwell is steep. Like, it's not like a normal stairwell. I feel it's steeper than normal.
It's steep. The stairs are stout. And it's narrow, and it's just the worst. Yeah. I don't even know how I would get a lot of things up there. I mean, we're lucky our original couch that went to Mississippi was like a sectional, so it was in 4 different pieces. That's how we got it up there. This, if you have anything bigger than that, you're totally screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope.
Do you happen to have a balcony?
I don't, no. You're thinking I craned that shit up and put it on the balcony?
You literally just...
Oh, you just throw it out?
Yeah, throw it out the window.
That's a good idea.
So I think when Gus and I did stuff, we threw a couple things out the balcony window.
Really?
We had a balcony at our old thing, and I'm like, all right, open up the door, slide it out the balcony. It works.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Although our stairs were a bit better. I know for moving some of those couches, especially that big couch that we had. God damn it, that thing was just a really, really tough. Not so much for the stairs itself, because our stairs just like went straight through. They were fairly easy, not super steep, but it's just the corners. You had to like do the finagle move exactly what you're talking about, where you have to like get it at like a 45-degree angle and kind of like
then
wedge
like back
itself
in, back
through
out,
the door.
back in, back out, six point turns. Like, it's wild.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking forward to moving my bed, because I didn't move with the bed. I just bought a bed because I hated the old bed I had. It was like springs, and it was a bad bed. I was gonna get a new bed, but now I have a nice bed, and I'm gonna have to keep it. It's got a 10-year warranty on it.
It's amazing.
It's coming with me.
Yeah.
But this thing is, I bought a purple mattress, and those things are heavy. Those things are a lot heavier than normal mattresses. It's like a giant, like, wet noodle, essentially, if you're trying to move it. There's no way I can roll it back up into the case. It's impossible.
Mattresses suck. They are
to move
so
this
heavy
thing, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my mattress weighs like 130 pounds at least.
And can you set it up vertically? Because like a normal mattress, you can just set it vertically. Like I always put it in
there's no way. Mine would just fold
flops
over on it.
Oh. On the plus side, it can like be constrained, right? You can use it as like protection for everything.
Use it as like a
I mean, the best way to move it, I was hearing, is you just fold it in half, and then it's a bit more workable.
Manageable.
But even still, it sucks to move. So like, it's just gonna be a nightmare. But luckily, I don't have to move for at least a year, so we should be good.
Yeah, and I feel like, Sean, you love to move around and stuff. I feel like the moving may like deter you from doing that for so long.
I think you reach a point in your life where you only have a certain amount of moves left in you,
right?
And I have more moves left in me, but I don't know how many more. You know.
I'd have to give up a lot to move very frequently, I think. I say that, but I don't know.
Where you guys are wrong here. I think the best bet is, if you can, get a job where you're doing like either on-site or remote work where the company just pays for you to be in a hotel, and you can just like, have like a kind of like a cheaper apartment in an area that's like maybe not as nice or like not super upscale. And if you're flying out everywhere,
then why move?
Yeah, I mean, there is that lifestyle, but I like my
living.
stuff,
Yeah.
I like having a nice gaming computer. I like having, a TV that I like. You can't have that if you're living in like a traveling like that.
I do like a place to come home to.
Nice laptop.
I do think that, I would be okay with that. If I travel like 50% of the time, and I was away for 6 months at a time, I could live off like a gaming laptop to play my games and just the clothes.
I mean, you did it in college.
Yeah, I did it in college. That's how I lived the whole time. I never had a problem with it. I'd never really had the desire to get like a super nice couch or a super nice TV back then. But now that I'm stable, it's like I really want those things.
See, I like monitors, so I couldn't go off a laptop. I'd go insane. I have to have multiple monitors. Like for a while, I had 3. At work, I had my last job. I had 4.
You had 4?
monitors.
It could be 4 monitors.
Yeah,
Jeez.
and right now I'm on 1, and it's it's a big monitor, so it's okay. But my standard now is 2.
Your optimization's gone
bigger
down.
monitors, so it's like I can't. That's a huge disqualifying reason for me. I can't do like a small like traveling lifestyle like that.
I don't know. I could operate off if I had a nice. I think MacBooks. Honestly, I like.
Yeah. I mean, for a little bit, sure. A week, a month, maybe, but anything more than that, and I'd rather just stay in one place.
Huh?
So you don't think you could do the remote, or a travel stuff or anything like that?
I don't. Not for long term. I like traveling, and I think it's a lot of fun. But I don't know. Like the longest trip I've done was a 36-day trip. And all around a couple different countries, and
right,
it's just tough, after a while it's kind of draining.
Well, you were like actively doing stuff and being a tourist. If you're not a tourist when you're in those new places and you're kind of working, I think it would be a lot different.
I mean, if you're in one place for like a month and then move to another place for a month, it'd be fine, and I could do it. I just don't like doing that as much.
Mm-hmm.
I love traveling. I love going out and exploring new places, but I love having a home base.
Yeah.
To come back to and, sit down on my couch and watch TV.
Right.
That's very much what I like to do. So,
well, I mean, you could do that. You have like a apartment in a in a place that isn't super expensive, and if your job your travel job pays enough, you can just have like that apartment or have a home and just use that as your home base. And then obviously like almost every week you'd fly out. I know. So personally, my dad, that's what he did.
Your dad does that
almost a decade.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't do it anymore due to COVID, and now he's all remote, right? But
right.
For a while there, he did a lot, and like literally every single week he'd travel out somewhere.
I would like that. Honestly, I could spend a long time away traveling and working in a remote spot. I get like how you'd want to have that home base, but I don't know. I feel like I can find the value in both situations. I don't need all the things I have at my home base, and it doesn't always not all the things are like essential to making me happy, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like for me, I've traveled around when I was a kid. I can see that. And I went to like the west side of the country of the United States of America. I went to London, and I lived there for a couple of years. I lived, in Michigan for Michigan State, and I lived in other spots too. And I feel like that kind of moving lifestyle, like bred into me, just the okayness, like the ability to be okay with just going to different places and kind of settling down and not having too much of a home base. Because now all I want to do is travel. All I want to do is live in a different culture. And it's definitely because I moved around so much as a kid.
I think I'm the opposite. Whereas, like I was saying, I love to travel. I did a lot of traveling as a kid. I didn't live in another place like you did, Colton, but I did a lot of moving around just to see things. I did a lot of road trips, multi-week road trips, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done that, okay, I'm just a homebody. Like I love a place to just exist.
Right.
That's my place. and no no one can interfere with it. That's just kind of what I want.
Right.
With the ability to go out and travel and everything for sure, but I just kind of really like my spot. It's I'm just becoming more and more like that as time goes on.
I totally feel you.
Do you guys think go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a weird, because I'm a weird combo. I know that I'm with you, Sean. I love being home, and like frankly, like if I have the option, like right now I'm hybrid. If I have the option, I'm just gonna stay at home and like not do much. But I feel like I'm also at the same time, I really like. Now I have no experience from a work or professional side of things. Basically traveling
for
extensively.
Work. Yeah,
but obviously personally a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm like either one or the other, but it has to be 100%.
Yeah, no middleman.
I can fully travel for work where I have, operating out of a suitcase. Like I'm really good about operating out of just a carry-on bag and a backpack, right?
Yeah.
Everything in my life, besides, my nice gaming, PC, right? Can be done from there, right? I know how to pack for that, and I know how to operate, and I feel like I operate really well out of that, right? But it has to be one or the other. I can't have the option to go home, or else I'll like switch to that homebody mode, and then I get really uncomfortable like spending extended amounts of time. But I have to like, if I'm 100%, okay, I'm traveling only.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
I'm 100%. It's just it can only be one or the other. It can't be somewhere in the middle.
Right. So you guys, all of us, I assume I'm correct. If we could establish a home base in like a very different country, you'd still be okay with that, right? Like if we went to,
you mean like having like living in another country?
Like if you live in Germany for 2 years and you got an apartment there, like you'd be okay with that.
Oh man,
because that's kind of what you're doing.
Talk about regular moving. Regular moving sucks. Imagine moving to a different country.
Separate from moving to a different country, because that would suck so much more, so expensive. It's got to be so expensive, just from that point alone. But I'm more talking like having your home base,
the admin fees.
Yeah, but just having like your home base somewhere that's really unfamiliar. You think you'd do it?
I don't mind that. I mean, I've done that a lot in my life, where I've just completely moved to a new location that I didn't know anybody at, or I've done that I guess 2 or 3 times.
You're right. Yeah, you went to college,
so,
and then you're here in your new spot now. So it's
and then when I was a kid, I just completely moved schools. I didn't know anybody. So
right, okay.
I've done that several times in my life, and it's a bit of a bummer every time, definitely.
Yeah, you leave behind some.
Nowadays, technology keeps us in contact. I mean, this is a prime example of that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm very thankful for that. But it would be tough to move somewhere with a totally different language, I think. But if I moved somewhere that spoke English, I think I'd be okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you moved somewhere that didn't speak English, you just have to find the English-speaking crew wherever you live. Hopefully there's one there.
The foreigners.
Yeah. Other foreigners, or just domestic people that really like, or that speak English, I guess. Yeah.
So, now, did I ever
I'm not
tell
exactly
you
opposed,
about
but I want to be paid a lot of money for it.
Yeah, exactly. Did I tell you about my idea? Where basically what you do is, Sean and I are both kind of in the IT world, right?
Right.
Imagine if you could do just like a medium level support gig, or like something where that can be fully remote, right? Just based off it, right?
Yeah.
From the bottom of like is just, basic tele support, right? But imagine if you get someone that's US based and you do third shift, right? Which usually pays quite a bit more.
Yeah.
You get like either 25 or 30% extra pay for working, what effectively are nights, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if you did third shift, but then you lived in Japan or Australia, right? Which is 12-hour difference. Indonesia or anything like that. Imagine doing that. So it's a day, and you're like, oh, I'm working out of here. As long as you got good internet connection, you can do it.
Good to go.
Yeah. I would definitely, absolutely try that for at least a couple years. Long term, I don't know if I do it, but I would love to try it.
I would do it 6 months. See if I like it.
Oh, I would do it
6 months. Yeah.
I would do it for, if someone said you need to do this for 2 years, I would probably commit to that. As long as assuming everything else can work out, because obviously if I move to Japan but the company's not in Japan, I have to figure out that work visa and all that shit out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Assuming
lots
it does,
of stuff to figure out with other countries.
Yeah, assuming it did, and I was allowed to come over there, I would definitely do it. I'd do it for a while.
Yeah.
I think I've looked into like Australia and New Zealand, since that's kind of like one of the things. I'm like, oh, that'd be a really cool place to live.
Yeah.
And as long as you can get New Zealand's like basically if you speak English well, and you have a degree in something, and you're like in a field that they need, then you can basically get a job over there.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty quick, and basically get residency. Cool. A friend of mine actually from high school, his dad moved there, and he moved there as well. He's going to he went to college. He's graduated now, but yeah, he literally senior year of high school moved out to New Zealand. And
Crap.
I'm like,
dang,
what?
That's pretty crazy.
I feel like Mike, that's like a good for you because you love New Zealand and you could just go there. Basically, if you set a plan to do that, you could probably find yourself in New Zealand with a job within like a year, as long as COVID's not around. I was saying that right now
because they're locked down.
Yeah. Not assuming COVID's not around, then you'll be okay.
Right now, it's such a weird time for that. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
I tried to get out of the country recently and got.
Oh, you got boned.
There was so much shit.
Got shut down. Like, no, you're not going.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Bye.
Literally, it was that day.
A bummer.
The day I was literally sitting in the airport. I think I told you this, right?
Yeah, you told us.
So I was literally sitting in the airport, planning to head to the country I wanted to visit. My uncle who's living overseas. I was like, all right, let's visit. It's the first time in a while, right? COVID, and this is right around when Delta started like really coming up, right? And I was like, all right, and literally that day, the U.S. went from like a low risk to very high. Literally that day, and I was like,
you guys.
And it went from essentially, basically just have negative tests. You don't even have to be vaccinated at that point. It was just have negative tests to like you need to be vaccinated and also quarantine. I was like, well, crap.
Yeah, it takes up my.
Well, I mean, what's the point then? At that point,
yeah.
Man,
would you guys like to be stuck in a foreign country? Like if like that happened?
No.
Honestly,
I was honestly that what happened to me is because right before like February, right, of 2019, is that when this
2020 March 2019 is when it all hit the fan, I think.
No,
February, March, yeah. Well, I think February is when they started closing things down.
Yeah.
And right before that happened, I had been planning to move to Ireland. Like I was going everything was set, like I had a place for a month there, like to just so I could actually find a better place. I had an Airbnb for a month.
You were going to look for a job while you were there.
My visa was in. I was going to look for a job and just go for there. And then they closed the countries.
Yeah, that is
like probably like a month before I was scheduled to leave. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not going.
Like that's a huge life plan that it just got completely botched.
Yeah, I mean,
at least for now. You can always go back or try it again.
Yeah, I could go back, and I mean, silver lining is had I went there like a month earlier and got there right before COVID hit, it would have sucked. I would have lost all my money.
You would have,
because I wouldn't have been able to get a job over there.
Yep.
And then I would have had to fly back home and do nothing. Essentially, it would have sucked. I would have had like a couple of months of just staying
completely
in a
stagnant,
bad apartment in Ireland, essentially.
And then everything's closed down. You wouldn't have been able to do anything.
Yeah, it would have sucked. So I'm glad that happened at the time it did, and I didn't go. But still a bummer, but
who knows?
I think it worked out for the best.
Hopefully, you can do it.
You'll have more. You'll have more experience now, right? So maybe it'll be a lot easier to find something. And we're in fields that are fairly. You've got usually your pick of the bunch there, right?
Yeah,
it's in a high demand field, so
I mean, maybe who knows? Anything could happen in the future.
Yeah, Dude, Sean, are you thinking honestly right now you don't want to do that route? Like you're not really thinking about, I still want to go to Ireland. Is that kind of not off the table, but it's just in the background right now?
Yeah, it's kind of in the background. I mean, it'd be a nice place to retire, honestly.
I thought you wanted to retire in Japan.
I like the idea of getting a small cottage in the Scottish Highlands, or somewhere in Ireland, and
just having
sitting down there. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah.
But right now, there's no reason to. I mean, I have a good career established here in America, and we pay a lot more than
the European countries
for my field. So
for sure,
I'll just be here for the time being. Yeah. And there's tons of places I would like to. Well, not tons, but a lot of places I'd like to be in America and try living there. So
yeah,
I feel like
it's essentially like moving countries here anyway.
It can be.
Honestly, though,
I feel like when you have the travel bug, sometimes you can actually. I've noticed this, like you can like just
downplay.
You can downplay your own country and what there actually is to offer in your own country. Because I'm all like, oh, I love Japan. Like, oh, I want to go to Norway and Sweden. But a lot of the stuff, some of the stuff you can find there, you can find in America, of course. But also just, you can travel around the U.S. and find a lot of amazing things that you can't find also anywhere else.
I mean, the U.S. is massive.
It is massive. Very diverse.
I've done a lot of road trips in this country, east to west, not even fully east.
Yeah, exactly.
And up into Canada, like this continent that we're on, that you can just accessible via car, is so massive, and there's so many things to do and see.
Yep.
That it kind of amazes me that people don't travel around more. There's a lot of places here that I have seen that I've never seen anywhere else, and I'm sort of traveled, semi well traveled.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
people definitely downplay the stuff America has, for sure.
Or your own country downplays it. I feel like if you live in Europe, I mean, you live in freaking the UK, you downplay going to Spain or downplay going to Ireland because it's all right there. Yeah. But it's all right there, and you can experience a lot of cool stuff because they all want to come to America. But it's like
most people don't treat their own. Most people don't how do I say that? Most people don't try and be a tourist in their own country.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to do that.
It is, yeah.
It's cheap. It's kind of the beauty of America.
Very good.
And and you can drive it, right? It's not like, I mean, you can do it's
going to take days, but yeah.
Yeah,
you have the ability to do it if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also like that, a lot of people I know from outside of America, heck, even a lot of people in America are like, oh, let's go to New York or LA, right?
Right.
Either the coast, right? But, growing up in the Midwest, there's plenty of cool spots like in the middle of in between those places.
Yeah.
Right? There's plenty of cool spots. I mean, I'll be straight with you, like Nebraska or Kansas. Sorry guys, but
not much shit.
There's not.
But yeah,
but Colorado or Montana or even some of the Dakotas, right? I don't know.
The Dakotas are beautiful and have a lot of cool spots.
Those are countries a lot of foreigners don't actually think of. You're right, Mike. They just there's so much there, but that's not where the tourists from other countries, I feel like, focus.
Yeah, they think let's go to New York. They don't think let's go to see Mount Rushmore.
Or let's see.
Well, I don't think most other people besides Americans think to go see Mount Rushmore.
But even
but that's in the Black Hills, and the Black Hills are very beautiful and picturesque, and so I mean.
But
no one thinks to do that.
Even like a city like Denver, where it's in the mountains, and it's like an American city in the mountains. I feel like a lot of people they don't think, oh, that exists, or that's that own little town. Its culture is a thing. It's very different.
Or like Essex, which is right outside of Rocky Mountain National Park.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the gateway city to it.
Yeah,
I mean that's a total little mountain town, and then you go up into the Rocky Mountains. It's, amazing.
Oh yeah. No, it's the U.S. is pretty neat.
The U.S. is pretty neat. America.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool over here.
I know, at least from, talking to people, non-Americans, right, is they have this expectation that the U.S. is actually a lot smaller than it is, right? It's like, oh, you can go from New York to L.A. pretty quickly, right? By flying, sure, yeah. Even by flying, it's like, 7 hours?
It's
7 to 8 hours,
yeah. It's a long
Yeah, it's like crossing the Atlantic. But, driving it, it's going to take 5 days.
Yeah, like you think, it'll take maybe a day and a half? No, not a day and a half.
It'll take 4 days of straight driving.
You're without not stopping.
You drive the entire day, you sleep, you get up, you drive again for 4 days, and that's how long it takes to get across America.
And no stops by bathroom breaks and grabbing food.
Very little stops. Like it's like you got to go.
You got to go.
I think from Southern California to Michigan was 32 hours. And from Michigan to New York is like 8 hours, right?
Yeah.
Or more.
So it's like a 40-hour total trip.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's at least a 40-hour to 45-hour trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's without counting stops. That's without counting
stops. And that's with no stopping.
Yeah, that's just going.
Or sleeping.
Yeah. It's 40 hours.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But it's worth it to see. Like, there's some weird stuff out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm sure that's true in any country. But there's stuff to see. I mean, we have the reverse thing. Like, if I go to Italy, you know, you go to Rome, you know, and you see the Colosseum, but that's like a major city. I want to go out to the countryside of Italy and just see what's out
Meet
there.
some locals.
Japan,
exactly.
Honestly, like visiting
Same
that,
thing.
like I love Tokyo, right? But going to the town around Fuji in like the more rural parts, right? And that was not even that rural. It's like still like a relatively decently sized city, at least from U.S. standards, right? But you know, there's plenty of parts in Japan that are just like, all right, this is only a couple of houses.
America, it's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can do in America that most people don't realize.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same with all countries. So
Yep. Try to explore the non-touristy areas. I feel like we all had like some of our best experiences in ways where we don't actually try to seek it out in a touristy area, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The best moments are the spontaneous ones.
Yeah, they are.
Do you remember when we went to the Yakiniku place in Japan?
What's the Yakiniku place?
That's the one where we're grilling stuff over coals.
Yeah, that was totally a shot in the dark there.
That was complete. Like, I found this place randomly on Yelp, and we were walking for a lot longer than I thought we were going to be walking for to find this place. It was just out in the middle of nowhere. It's just like a regular place, you know, in like not even in it's like near apartments and stuff. And the guy did not speak any English.
Yep, he's like, I can't read.
We barely got a place to sit. And that was super cool. Like, that was one of my most memorable moments of that trip.
Yeah.
But it was
did we
definitely
have to wait
nowhere
for like
near.
an hour or two?
No, because it was pretty quick. They're like, we can get you in now, but you have to be out by this certain amount of time.
Like 30
that's right.
minutes.
And we're like, sure, we can do that. We just want to try it. And the menu was no English, no pictures.
No pictures. They didn't even know how to read like
the waiter didn't speak English, so we were like, we want point to random things on the menu.
What's good?
Or running into the festival back in Asakusa, Tokyo.
Yeah, the festival was cool.
That was awesome. There's just so many little so many of those moments, right? I think it's like the same in the U.S., right? Where you're just like, oh, your goal is to go to, or even like on a road trip, right? You're like, oh, my goal is to get to X place, but it's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to so many weird, random places in America just because I'm on the road for, 8 to 10 hours a day, and you just see random stuff. You're like, well, let's go check that out. I mean, there's Carhenge in America, in like Nebraska.
Carhenge,
which
that took me a minute to like.
So everyone knows Stonehenge, right?
What if you did?
But
cars?
somebody built it out of cars, like old, 60s style cars, and they painted them all gray, and they're just like stuck out in the exact arrangement of Stonehenge in the middle of this like rolling grass sea. And when I was there, it was like perfect, like, dot clouded sky, really nice fluffy clouds. And I'm like, wow, this is nice sunlight coming down. And it looked like, being in I don't know, Europe.
It was like Europe, but
UK,
like
right?
it was with cars. That's just like almost a meme.
It was with
That's
cars.
Hilarious.
It's like so random
thing ever.
Yeah,
right.
Car.
It's just so random, but it was cool, and it's out of the way. Like, it's not off the highway. It's like an hour and a half off the highway, way up north, like of the highway itself. So you have to give out of your way to get to this place.
Got to put a little effort in.
But if you're there, why not? So
exactly.
It's kind of my philosophy when I'm traveling like that.
Just got to keep an open mind while you're traveling. Don't be like set on the plan. Absolutely. Be available for little changes, I feel like.
Yeah.
Whew. Is there anyone else where you'd want to live there, Sean Colton?
Where I'd want to live?
Yeah. So like,
in the world or America?
We talked about kind of the, having a gig out somewhere, right? Doing full remote. But anyone else? I mean, besides Japan or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, Japan's one of them I think I'd like to experience. I would like to travel to a couple more Asian countries, even like any of those Asian countries that might not be, like Korea or Japan, and see if that would be fun. Because I could see like Thailand or Vietnam being cool to live, a cool place to live.
I've heard Vietnam is really nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would love to. I love the different Asian cultures. So that's why I would want to live there, is to actually experience the culture and gain knowledge from what it's like. Other than that,
Yeah.
I'm not too. I don't have a desire to
I
live.
really want to live there, though. You know.
I mean, I'd live there if I like the culture, because I like the culture in Japan, so I want to experience that more.
I live in Japan,
so that's why I would live there. But yeah, if I go to Thailand, I'm like, maybe it was cool to see, but I'm not vibing. I don't know, but I'd do it.
Yeah,
it'd be a very different way of life in Thailand or Vietnam or something like that.
Very true.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah. Throw back to like the first episode. You gotta get a house there.
I would love that to
just
be
buy a house somewhere and
the
go
100th episode.
After you mentioned the cheap houses.
Oh yeah, I see every house that pops up. Some I almost send you guys. Cause I'm like, this is a really good deal.
I would like it honestly. If that could ever actually happen, that'd be so funny. Imagine just having enough money to just be like, all right, $80,000, we can buy a fixer upper.
Honestly, if you guys want to pool money together to buy a house, we could totally do that.
But if like we're like 30 and we got good enough savings,
it wouldn't be that hard if it's $80,000 actually. All of us need to learn,
or even ones for like 34,000. Like there was a really nice one on like, it wasn't even an island. It was just like a sea town. For like $40,000.
For context, Sean showed us an Instagram page on our first episode where you could buy houses for like $20,000, and Mike and I were a little sus. We're like, I don't know about that one. Sean says it's really good though, so we'll believe him. We'll go out to Japan. We'll look at these houses.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
just want to know what the asterisk is on those, but
I do want to know what the asterisk is.
I mean, look at this. This is a $69,000 home right here.
Nice.
Okay. This is it's a spacious 2-story house located along the coast in Kitakyushu, Fukuoka.
Fukuoka. I don't know if that's right.
Northernmost city on Kyushu Island. It was built in the 1970s. It has 3 Japanese style and 3 Western style rooms, so 6 bedrooms.
I still don't.
It's on a hill. So
it doesn't have running water, but that's all right. You could plumb. It's also got asbestos.
The kitchen's a bit dated, but it's a beautiful house,
dude.
I mean, if we could actually buy one for $20,000. No, I still don't believe. I'm gonna get crushed. I can't get my hopes up for this one. I'm gonna be crushed.
That's pretty awesome. So
this one I really like. This one's $42,000. Okay, it doesn't look like much from the outside, but it's a 3 Japanese style bedroom house that just looks beautiful. It's built in the 1990s, so it's very new as far as houses in Japan go.
How?
And I mean, come on! And this one's not even. This is on the main island. I'm pretty sure it's in.
I don't know. Kyushu sounds pretty awesome.
Wakayama. So I'm pretty sure that's the main island, or somewhere accessible on the main island. It would be so cool to have a house in Japan.
It would be so freaking nice.
Imagine that. Dude, actually, honestly, so 3 and 3, you could probably do that because all 3 of us could have it. We'd all have guest rooms and say, like, down the road, kids and shit like that, right?
Oh, yeah, vacation.
Like,
bro, I mean,
exactly. We got our vacation home.
I'd be going to Japan like twice a year if we actually bought a house. There.
If I had a place to live in Japan, 100% would be there at least once a year.
I need a remote job because I need to go down there for months at a time, and I don't care. Like, I don't care about my career anymore. I'm going to Japan. I'm going to go to Japan, teach English, and have this other random ass job.
Yeah, you. What are your dream jobs? Or sorry, not dream jobs. Dream homes. Dream jobs is a.
I was gonna say that's a podcast worth of content right there. That's a good one though. That's a good topic.
Dream home though. Oh, that's good because so I've been slowly like building a home in my head for years. Like
the blueprints are forming.
If everything worked, if I don't know how to say that.
If it all worked out.
If everything works out great, and I have money, I would build my own home like from the ground up, just the way I want it, and it would be definitely very Japanese inspired, sort in like color scheme / layout and things like that. But it would obviously have more Western rooms, I think, because they're more functional for what I would like to do.
Yeah,
but at least one traditional Japanese room, because then I could have that be the cool kind of chill, tea / hangout space. That'd be super nice. Like a reading room would be really cool. and that it doesn't need to be big at all. Like I don't need a big house.
Yeah, I agree.
3 bedrooms is nice because then you have one for yourself, one for any kids / guests. 3 to 4 bedrooms is
right. Plenty.
More than enough,
Plenty.
I would say. But I'd love to also have like a media room. Like this
or
is like
this
is an office and then a media room. A media room specifically because I want high quality audio. And to get the best quality audio, you need a very specific room construction and layout.
Are you talking if you're a studio for yourself is what you mean? Or you want
like if I'm building my own house, one of the rooms is going to be a media room.
Yeah, okay. So
and it's going to be built in a specific way.
Right.
So that sound works best.
Yeah, soundproofing and sound treatment is like optimized in that
but
room.
like wall placement is really important with audio,
Sure.
And what's the construction of the materials, so like if it absorbs certain sounds that if they reflect, then it just kind of muffles a certain audio.
Right.
So
whereas you want to like reverberate bass, but you want to like muffle some like the treble or some higher stuff.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I've been slowly building this house in my head for years. So
that's awesome.
So cool.
I'm very on board with like the mostly minimalistic kind of thing. I don't need 8 bedrooms, whatever. I just need everything in my house to have a purpose. Like the square footage, it doesn't need to be a mansion or anything. I just want a purposeful space that's cozy and comfortable where I can hang like art, and I have like an island for a kitchen. I have a lot of kitchen space and I can cook.
Oh, kitchen is also
like one of my biggest
things. Very nicely
things.
laid out kitchen.
One of my biggest
love
things.
the look of like the living room kitchen combo. I think that's just like almost.
I would have it different.
Really, I like Sean's setup a lot.
Yeah, because I think it just makes the space flow, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Like my favorite thing is if like my dad's current place actually has this. It's a kitchen, kitchen, dining room, living room, all kind of in the same flowing space. Like you've got like a small table, for eating stuff, and then like that access to the living room. I think that's just a really nice layout. Like that way, there's no separation. It's all kind of like everyone's all together. So if you have family or guests, you're like, oh, cool. You can hang out and obviously have a nice kitchen to
I can see that
to do that.
Yeah.
I would do that, but I would have a separate media room for like, all right, I'm gonna now watch a show or watch a movie. Like this is a dedicated room for that.
Yeah.
And the living room is just more like a hangout spot.
Mm-hmm, right.
Is what I'm thinking.
I just think pristine audio from like music listening to just a completely different experience when you have it well set up. It's wild.
Yeah, it's a hugely different experience. It makes, and I feel to me like not everybody needs it. Some people they're fine with just any sort of audio, but I feel that it's like when you really get into something and you develop like a second kind of sense for it, like tea or beer or coffee or
little
wine
things
or anything like that.
Yeah.
There's these small things that really make a difference, and to me, I have that with audio, or something I can just really appreciate and want to have better is better audio.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Zenitsu ears can hear everything really nicely.
Yeah, I have a really well balanced sound. Like I definitely hear when things are off, and I think, man, the vocals should be way better here, or it shouldn't have this much of a difference. It's hard to describe, but
you're like, hey, this could be better. This could be optimized.
Yeah. I usually think like this could be better.
Yeah.
That's why it sucked. It's kind of like a curse because you can't get I can't get basic headphones because I listen to it.
Yeah. You have to get good headphones.
It sucks. Like I have to get really well balanced like computer speakers and media center speakers. It's kind of stupid, but
yeah,
it's my burden to bear at this point.
Hey, it's like a special skill, right? It's like someone who can like taste like wine or anything like that, right? They just got that kind of natural talent.
Yeah, that's truly.
And then you always run into the people that they're just like, whatever, and they just drink the wine.
Yeah,
and then or you're like, I've put so much money into this audio setup, and you're like, that doesn't sound
Yeah,
special
it's like,
to
cool,
me.
you got the speakers.
Bring me over,
got some
man.
cool
I'll be
pads
like,
on the wall.
oh, cool. This sounds good. Thank
Yeah,
you, Sean.
great. I
And
see, I
that's
feel that
probably
thing.
the maximum
Yeah,
I
this
can
is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should get that side gig going, and then it'll be a full-time gig. Then you can do whatever you want. Then you can travel and whatever, man.
Maybe. The hustle, the side hustle.
The side hustle.
Dude, isn't that the culture now, though? The side hustle?
Everyone's got a little side
Everyone's
gig.
got a little side gig,
kinda...
which is kind of cool. Yeah, everyone can use an extra couple $100 a month or whatever, you know? It's kind of fun to build your own. I would love to own my own business one day. That's like the dream. I want to work. I want to get out what I put in, and put like a lot of work into it to make it grow.
See,
that's awesome.
That's like the one thing I don't want to do. I don't want to be like the CEO or the business owner. Like I feel like I wouldn't mind being a consultant.
I would,
and where you're like you're self-employed. But being like a full on like, okay, I have employees and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't know. It's just not. I don't feel like that's my gig.
I would just want to grow something. That's what I liked. Like having a goal and having it grow.
I like that too.
Like in college, this is why like sometimes I don't like the corporate job life. This is yeah, and like I'm just working to like build this part instead of like having a mission to do it. Whereas if I changed a job to something that's not super corporate, that could help. But then also just doing my own business and growing it myself. Just love that. It'd be awesome. It'd be a great feeling.
In the corporate environment, you feel like you're a cog in the machine rather than
And I think that just means I need to get out of the corporate environment, I think. So with this new job, maybe. I don't know.
Like for me at least, it's like, all right, I know I have to like spend, X amount of years in the corporate environment just to get the experience.
Yeah.
And,
gotta make
kind
the
of the know-how. And you kind of
Yeah.
have to sacrifice. It sucks because like, all right, I have to sacrifice my 20s so I can do awesome in my 30s, right?
Mhm.
But
it's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it feels sometimes.
If only we lived an extra 50 years,
if only I lived to like 300, I could just optimize.
Who knows,
optimize.
dude? By the time that we're like 50, they may have, they're already developing technology that extends, life.
Yeah, but I don't want to be 50 for an extra 50 years. I want to be 30 for an extra 50 years, you know?
Hey, man,
enough.
we'll have the metaverse by then. I can do whatever I want in the metaverse.
It's true.
Shut the fuck
I will
about
have
the metaverse.
Give me the metaverse.
No.
Absolutely.
I still don't know what the metaverse is.
It is the metaverse. That's what it is.
But is it just Ready Player One? Is it?
I think that's what Zuckerberg
It's
wants.
Ready Player One,
it?
but a lot worse, a lot lower fidelity.
Dang.
Well,
it's like Second Life. Did anybody play Second Life?
No. Oh my god, I've heard memes.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I played it for a little bit, and it was so weird. Like
it's like VR chat, but better.
Couldn't really do anything. You just kind of look at things.
Hey, that's all people need.
I mean, that is VR chat. Let's be real.
I do want to play VR chat again.
I do too.
Now that I have a living room that I can walk around in, I'm really excited to do VR chat.
Play some more VR chat.
Yeah,
we should jump back in the VR. We haven't done that in a while.
We should.
Yeah.
All right.
I would like to get a better avatar too.
Now.
Yeah.
Well, I think your avatar is great.
I don't remember what I was.
I think you're Jack Skellington.
Oh yeah, that was a good avatar.
All right.
Yeah. I want to figure out how to play that game, and I imagine it's gone through updates at this point. So, because I just didn't know how to play it the other time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't select anything.
Just like messing around with people, talking.
Yeah, VR is definitely cool for that. As long as I think the problem now is there's just too many kids that really shouldn't have it.
All the free games really shit up VR and like really make VR a pain sometimes. All right,
but I guess that's just what happens. I mean, initially all the cool stuff, is this new technology. It's just a bunch of
it's just a bunch of kids,
similar
just a bunch of
people,
trolls,
and then it becomes more accessible, and then it gets kind of crowded down.
Keep the price high so all us adults can enjoy our
gatekeeping,
our privilege.
Really.
Yeah, I hopped in recently, and it's like it feels like it's all just like all right. A bunch of screaming 12-year-olds like it's a Call of Duty lobby back in the day.
But it's
like
is Phasmophobia a VR game?
It is a VR game. You can buy it for VR.
I think it's PC.
You can do both, either or, VR or.
Oh, you can do standalone?
I think not standalone, but it's VR or like a PC game. You get it on
Steam and then connect via the cable. Yeah. We should do that. We should, because I think Zach plays that, right?
Does.
So we should definitely hop on with him.
He says it's very scary.
Yeah.
I imagine that in VR would be freaky.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm down to try it.
Freaking Boneworks that I have is kind of freaky. I mean, you got some zombie thing coming at you. It's just a little uncanny.
It's a lot coming at you.
And then, when people touch you and you're in the set and you're in an intense scene, you're like, crap.
Well, you get that haptic suit.
We need that haptic suit. We just need the Sword Art Online.
That's next level.
Take me to the other world. Take me to another world. If we get that in our lifetime, I'll be so happy.
I saw a thing that 2022 is when Sword Art starts.
Hell yeah. Give it to me.
Sword Art Online takes place in 2022.
Give it to me. I honestly, as long as I don't die in the world, I'll be very, very happy.
As long as I can log out.
You've seen Sword Art, right? Like, that's kind of the point.
Yeah. Ugh.
But that type of thing, the totally in the world, that'd be really cool to do.
That would be super cool.
I don't know. I feel like I would love to have more in-depth VR. Like where, okay, you got, better audio where you can have like the full surround and like maybe like more crystal clear. Like if you ever seen an Enterprise VR
send
headsets,
your brain into the computer thing?
Fuck no. Oh no.
Oh, I would.
I already deal enough with computer problems. I can imagine just a glitch just killing
me.
You
can't get out.
That's probably going to happen.
That's a good point.
I 100% would do that.
I would do it once it gets
want
tested.
to try that.
I think it'd be cool. Like, all right, one thing I did think about was like, I don't know if you thought about this before. Like, okay, I'm dying and there's like no, all right, what about uploading your consciousness? Like, is that something you want to do?
100% I would do that.
Yeah, I think so.
See, I would do that, but I would not do like an active, like, okay, we're going to do full dive. Like, I don't want that. I'll stick with like classic
I'm all
VR.
about it. Plug me in. Let's go.
Jump into the Matrix.
The next simulation will begin.
I'm into the Matrix.
So you're blue
That's what our
then.
ancestors did above when
Just
we entered this simulation. Now it's again. We're doing it again.
Okay, now you're getting too meta there, Colton.
Yeah, exactly.
Simulation
the metaverse.
The metaverse.
Well,
yeah.
I just saw. I'm going. We're falling apart.
We're falling apart here.
I recently
really
saw Eternals for the final.
Oh god, yeah. Sorry, this is a really big tangent.
Super late on that,
yeah.
but I find because you said metaverse and then like Marvel and everything, so I just saw Eternals and that was interesting. But now I'm kind of caught up. I'm all caught up on like new Marvel stuff, so I'm ready to go into the new things.
Nice.
It's gonna be very exciting. I can't wait for Loki season 2. Can't wait for the new Doctor Strange. It's all gonna be great.
We'll see.
Dude, the new Doctor Strange is gonna be madness. I saw the trailer for it.
It is Mirrors of Madness.
More trip.
Actually, still.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, before we go on like another 30 tangents, I think we should wrap this boy up.
Yeah, probably.
It's been nice. It's been nice getting back into the podcast vibe.
Yeah, I'm ready to start recording
for a little
again, for sure.
break there.
Yeah. So, thank you, viewers. I appreciate it. I'm trying to think of a good outro. I just don't know. I've been like thinking the past 20 minutes. How do we need a good, solid outro.
We have a good, solid outro.
Well, it's like one line.
Never do it anytime.
Okay, yeah, thanks, viewers. One day we'll get there. But like, I want something more.
Okay, thank you.
Follow, like, and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on YouTube
right
Music. We'll be posting to YouTube Music very soon, so please give us a follow, a like, a share, a subscribe. One day we'll get there. We're getting there. I think we're close. No, we're not close, but we're getting there. I kind of got that. No,
all right,
that needs some work.
Everybody.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening.
Cue outro.
Definitely needs some work.